Lurking, watching closely, on the prowl, slowly crawling over your skin. You feel the small hairs creeping, tingling. Then before you know it, you're screaming. You're in your own horror movie, and your co-star is the tarantula.
The characteristics of the Australian tarantula are that they're quite large, they have really big fangs on them, and they're prone to bite.
For many years, the biggest, hairiest creature you can find has been invading the silver screen, torturing the senses of all who watch, sending shivers down your spine. The tarantula is most often the culprit. These ground-dwelling spiders have a large, hairy body which varies in color from dark chocolate brown to pale fawn, often with a silvery sheen. Enough for most people to leave it well alone. But if you get too close, you'll soon know they have really big fangs and they're prepared to bite. If a tarantula bites you, it will stab you with its fangs and inject a dangerous venom that contains a complex mixture of components.
There's quite a number of different molecules in the venom that have a range of different activities. These activities are generally quite specific to various targets in the body, and they act by either blocking or activating nerve currents.
This is one nasty bite. Symptoms of tarantula envenomation include nausea and vomiting for 24 hours, plus, of course, the pain from the fangs piercing and sinking into your skin.
In the case of the tarantulas, it's both male and female that can cause problems.
The majority of tarantula bites occur when a person or an animal encounters a male during mating season. The Australian tarantulas live in a burrow for most of their lives. The danger is when the male reaches maturity and comes out of its burrow looking for females.
They walk up to the burrow and tap around the top to attract the female out. Once the female comes out, they actually mate front on. It will have a couple of hundred eggs.
These eggs will grow and hatch into hundreds of little spiderlings. Some of the spiderlings will cannibalize each other, and the survivors will live in the burrow until they're big enough to leave and set up their own burrows.
Australian tarantulas do have quite a long life cycle. They can live up to 20-25 years for females. Males will generally go through a maturing molt after 5 to 7 years, but it can depend a bit on the environment, and they will only live for a couple of months after they've matured.
Tarantulas are invertebrates and have hard exoskeletons covering their bodies. In order to grow, they must molt. Molting is the periodic shedding of a tarantula's exoskeleton. Legs, hair, fangs, spinners, reproductive organs, all are cast off during molting. Young spiderlings molt often, adult females usually once per year, but adult males will usually only molt once.
It is usually a change in atmospheric humidity that causes the male to go through its maturing molt, and that will be around the wet season in the tropics.
Throughout the tropics, you can hear the Australian tarantula. When the spider is disturbed or feeling challenged, it will often create a whistling sound, thus revealing the Australian tarantula's other name of whistling spider.
Some of the species actually have little hairs on them that they can rub and make a hissing noise, so you can actually hear it from a couple of meters away.
Unlike many other spiders, the tarantula's web is used for little more than lining the burrow and building an egg sac. Each spider has their own burrow, and even the young spiders are kicked out of the mother's burrow quite young to set up their own home. They then sit and wait.
They'll sit near the top when they want to eat, and any bug or lizard or frog that happens to hop by, they'll run out and grab it, inject it with the venom, and then pull it back down into the burrow. The burrows can be quite deep, up to 1 metre or 2 metres deep. They're generally lined with some web and have some web around the top as a prey detection device. The burrows generally go down far enough in the soil to protect the spiders from great variations in temperature.
Buried deep beneath the Earth's surface without a trace. This alone sounds like the stuff of horror movies. Being envenomated, dragged back into a long, deep burrow, then devoured by a large, hairy, big-fanged spider. experts will have you believe there's very little danger to humans.
The Australian tarantulas are fairly shy, so there's not a huge number of bites on people. They pretty much only attack in defence. They're not aggressive in an attacking way. They won't chase after you.
However, if your worst nightmare is arachnophobia, all reasoning will be abandoned, scientific evidence will be ignored, and the fear factor, well, that had probably well and truly kicked in long before now.